All right, but here's my question. Why should legislators on the opposite side of the state dictate Philadelphia's law enforcement policy? It's a Philadelphia official. Philadelphians should be making these decisions. I wouldn't vote for Krasner. But for the state legislature to be rushing this through in a lame duck session and with no evidence that he personally benefited or, quote, misbehaved in office or committed any infamous crime, as the impeachment procedure lays out in the state, it does reek of pure politics. I spoke earlier to Philadelphia talk radio host Dom Giordano, who lobbied a Republican state representative in Philadelphia to spearhead the push to impeach Krasner. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. What am I getting wrong here?
Well, Dan, first of all, thank you. I admire your work. So let's see if you admire mine after this. I didn't push Martina White. Martina White is from Northeast Philadelphia. She's a leader in the House. I believe at least 7 local Democrats, Dan, on the vote did not participate. They were not there because they're critics of Krasner, and yet they couldn't vote. It's suicide in Philadelphia if you vote against a Democrat like this. The other thing you should know in your audience is this. When Krasner first ran in 2017, Krasner had the backing of George Soros. News reports say about $1 million in a very crowded race. That pushed him over the line.
Who cares?
Okay, I'm going to get to that. You care because when you're an incumbent Democrat in Philadelphia, the last Republican mayor we had was elected when Billy the Kid was alive for 3 years. My point being, it's almost impossible to dislodge someone like that. So Martina White in Northeast Philadelphia, vast sections of Philadelphia, want this to stop with Krasner. I think she has an oath of office to uphold. There's a check and balance here. And this idea it's just people 300 miles away who are coming after a diverse city is frankly ridiculous. Well, there are other issues with Krasner.
Well, yeah, but,
probably.
But hang on a second. But look, democracy stinks, right? Your position that, oh, it's really hard to upend someone who's in office. Yeah, you know, incumbency has its advantages. It's terrible. It exists throughout the country in different ways, shape, or form. That doesn't mean that impeachment should therefore become the tool to use to take someone out who the people of Philadelphia want. The Philadelphia residents have decided they want a crappy DA. Why can't they have it?
They can't have it because there has to be a check and balance. That's what impeachment is there for, Dan. We don't have it in Philadelphia. If we have it in Philadelphia, we would try it in Philadelphia, and it might be interesting to see what the result is. But we don't have that.
What does that mean we don't have
it at the state level?
What does that mean? The voters voted for him, and you're just saying, well, the voting's so hard, right?
We're supposed to sit there then and wait, I guess, as this carnage goes on for 3.5 more years. You're telling me we have no recourse than to wait for the next election.
Correct. I'm saying that when the guy's won by 30 points, that the residents of Philadelphia, he was reelected too. It's not like he's a new guy. They knew how crummy his policies were. They liked
what
him.
I told you is the background. Isn't that a context that maybe it's hard to consider what it's like in Philadelphia? When you get $1 million from one person in a DA's race, in a crowded race, you have a great chance of winning. Once you're in there, this is a very difficult thing to get people away from this.
That's a terrible argument. Because it can apply in any election. You can always argue it's unfair. The other guy had more money than we did. It's unfair. The person's an incumbent. It's really hard to get them out. Well, I mean, you got to abide by the voting system. Otherwise, we're going to start impeaching people all over the country.
There's no state role. There's no federal role then. So anything Krasner does is strictly confined to what voters in Philadelphia say. That's your position.
If he crosses legal lines, if he crosses an ethical line, the Bar Association could take action, et cetera. But the political line of the Republicans saying, and look, as I mentioned in the introduction, I agree with them about what Krasner's not doing and doing.
Dan, the Constitution is poorly constructed. The U.S. Constitution might be poorly constructed with high crimes and misdemeanors. It says bad behavior. The bad behavior is it's not a question of his discretion. He's refusing to prosecute clear crimes. Here's a case in point. Felon caught with a gun. Krasner does not go for any kind of penalty on that other than a misdemeanor. We know that's a driving force of murder, of robberies, of gun crimes. He says it. The police commissioner has said how bad this is to have to deal with this. It's a direct issue, a smaller thing. he has set a limit officially in a memo, and unofficially it's even higher, of how much you can steal in a retail store before you're going to be prosecuted.
Nuts.
Dan.
It's nuts. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree it's nuts, but I just don't agree that you impeach the guy. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.